Okay, guys, today we are going to be talking about a concept called a time signature. So, at the beginning of written music, you need a few things. One thing we've talked about is a clef. We may have our treble clef, for example. After our treble clef, we have a time signature. A time signature is actually two numbers that are on top of each other. The most common is 4/4, and it will be right after the clef. Each number in the time signature stands for something. The first number on top tells us how many beats per measure. So, how many beats can we fit in a single measure? The bottom number stands for what type of note equals one beat. Almost always for our work, we will have a 4 on the bottom of the time signature. And that means that a quarter note will equal 1. But that can be different. You may perform music if you're in band that has a different time signature. You might end up with a time signature like this. In this case, an 8 on the bottom would mean that an eighth note equals one beat. If the time signature were 2/4, for example, it would mean that a quarter note equals one beat. If it's 2/2, however, it would mean that a half note equals one beat. So a 4 on the bottom means a quarter note equals one beat. The number on the bottom has to represent some sort of note. So you couldn't have 4/3 because there is no such thing as a third note. There's a half note, quarter note, or eighth note, but a third note doesn't exist. So it's not something that's valid. The top number, however, can be kind of whatever you want. It is going to depend upon how high do you want to count in each one of your measures. If we were to have a measure of 2/4, for example, it means that in a measure, you can only have two beats. So you might have two quarter notes. You might have one half note. If your measure is a 3/4 measure, then you can have three beats per measure. You may have a half note and a quarter note, or you might just have three quarter notes.